Good morning. Happy Monday and welcome to Coffee Talk Live. We have such a cool show today because thank you to science and all of the scientists that helped make it possible. I am able to actually do these talks in businesses, in spaces that aren't my kitchen. Today we're talking about massage. We're talking about hand massage, physical touch, and just learning a lot more about a local business here who's run by a mom as well. So Coffee Talk Live, if this happens to be your first time ever watching this show, this is the show where my guests and I explore what it means to live a sustainable, healthy life as moms, for women, for ourselves in the home and in the community. As we go through this conversation, if you're watching in the group live, please, first of all, drop us a good morning or a hello. Let us know where you're listening from, but also you can be a part of this conversation too. So feel free to ask questions along the way. Just say hi, interact as we ask you guys questions. And same thing if you are watching the replay on my YouTube channel. Please feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want you to be a part of this conversation. Having said all that, my guest today is a good friend of mine. We met online throughout lockdown, actually. She is a licensed massage therapist, owns House of Wellness in Astoria, and is a mom of two herself. So good morning.
Good morning,
Melissa. This is your space.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I had a massage just the other day. I got the full experience myself. And I think one of the coolest things we could start off with is how we met. It was lockdown, and I, like you mentioned before our conversation went live, my husband and I were doing date nights every Friday just to keep ourselves from going crazy during lockdown. And I thought, I think this was me. I think I had this.
It was your idea. It was her idea.
I think it was my idea.
It was.
I reached out because I knew you were a massage therapist in the mom universe in Astoria. And I thought it would be a great idea to have somebody teach my husband and myself how to give partner massages. And she's like, yeah, let's do this. And the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, I had other people sign up after I did it with you guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
And your partner, I'm sure, didn't complain one bit.
He did not. No, I think the children vied for spots as well.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell us your origin story. How did you become a massage therapist?
I've been a massage therapist for 20 years. I went to art school actually for photography. And I tried to go back and get my degree after taking a year off. They wouldn't accept my credits. My in-laws mentioned how I'm always touching everybody and suggested I try massage school, and I just happened to really actually like it and be good at it, and here I am.
So you were touching people. Are you just like a natural hugger? Or
I was.
Yeah.
I have to say I don't hug as much as I used to. I think because I get my touch in. And I was talking with about this with someone recently, where like I used to be known for my hugs, constantly going up massaging people's shoulders, and now I don't. I'd like to get back to that, the hugging, because it's not the same. But we all have like requirements for touch. Like touch is so important that most people aren't getting enough touch, really,
right?
Especially these days, right? But mine gets overly fulfilled, especially having two kids as well, right?
Yes.
So
Anu says, hi ladies, good morning.
Oh, hi.
It's good to see you. Good for you to join us. So this is Coffee Talk. What's in your cup today, Melissa?
I have Moringa and Horsetail Tea.
What do those things do? I have no idea.
Moringa is a green, I feel like it's from, to me, it's my green tea. Green tea hurts my stomach. Moringa is all same thing, antioxidants. It's a green plant. I think it's high in like vitamin A. So vitamins and antioxidants for me. horsetail. I shaved my hair off a couple years ago, so I'm trying to grow it back. Horsetail will keep your kidneys clean and actually help you grow your hair and nails.
That's really cool. And since I drink coffee probably more than water, I probably shouldn't admit that, but I always forget that tea is such a really great source of micronutrients. That if you aren't a vegetable or fruit person, drink some tea. It's better than nothing.
So many herbs too that you can turn into tea.
Yeah. We'll have another conversation about
tea.
That. Yeah. So today you already started talking about, physical touch and how we were connected over lockdown and how you managed to maintain your business throughout lockdown. That's something that's really rare, especially for service industry people who are literally touching people for a living. That was something that I'm sure you had your own hesitations about it, but you said you were talking about your clients and how throughout, because of lockdown, the kind of qualification or categorization of massage has changed.
Yeah. New York State, massage therapists were in the laws for the state, still sort of considered. If you have to be licensed by the state, but a lot of the separate areas in the state, towns, cities, they were still listed as like sex workers. And that became lifted for New York State, and medical massage therapists became an essential worker. So should they ever shut down again, my clients who come for injury rehabilitation, lymphatic drainage, they wouldn't have to wait, right? Because so many people weren't receiving their physical therapy. There weren't any of their manual therapy. Yeah.
Everything that was preventative, pretty much, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Access to.
So a lot of that changed now, because I think a lot of the lawmakers saw that like people need to take care of themselves in order
workers.
to be. Yeah.
I bet at the end of the day, you're like, that's absolutely not what I do. There would be so much a different kind of fulfillment at the end of the day if that was the case.
There's a whole separate discussion for that too, right? Because obviously we know those kinds of workers are out there.
Yeah.
And then the lawmakers again have a hard time distinguishing the two, because one is not legal. Yeah. Which should make it easier, right? But it doesn't, because it still exists. So that's a whole other thing.
And I'd like to think that this was like an archaic law, but I'm sure it was. I mean, it's still.
Oh yeah, I mean it is, but it's just that you can look up in any state all the ridiculous laws. I don't know. I'm sure we can think of something that has to do with goats somewhere.
I know. Oh my gosh. Terrible segue. There's a great coffee shop down right at the corner here.
I love those guys.
The corner spot. Wow. This is the other side of Astoria. Like, might as well be the other side of the world for me. But that's what I'm having today.
That's where you went.
The corner spot. Classic
They're great.
roast.
They have good sandwiches too.
Yeah. It's like if you like the Greek food and you like coffee, it seems like the place.
And I like matcha. I did say I don't drink green tea, but I like matcha lattes. And they're so sweet. They ordered me unsweetened matcha.
Oh, and then you spend all your money there.
Exactly. Because now I feel like I have to go get the unsweetened matcha because they bought it just for me.
Everybody go get your unsweetened matcha at the corner spot. This is an unsponsored sponsorship for the coffee place. So, hand massage. Let's talk about why physical touch is so important. What happens whenever you are touching people, and why this is a great thing to do within your own relationships and for your kids.
Physical touch is, as a touch therapist, I'm going to tell you it's one of your most important senses, if not the most important sense. Think about it. What do we have? Sight, taste, smell, touch, hearing. So, if you can think about people know, what is it like to live without your sight? What is it like to live without your hearing? Many of us have experienced what it's like to not be able to taste or smell the last couple of years. Some people, my mom, she never got it back. She still can't taste or smell.
I have a client like that. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Mhm.
I was sick. I got mine back, thankfully, but so think about all those and then think about what it's like to literally live without having somebody touch you or touching somebody else.
Mhm.
Inside, when I think about that, I feel more devastated than I would feel if I lost my eyesight.
Yeah.
So when you are having physical touch, it stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system immediately.
That's your calm down.
That's right. It's your digestive system, what helps you sleep, what helps you feel relaxed. When people say they're stuck in fight or flight, that's the sympathetic nervous system, where we're like not digesting our food, like feeling really stressed out and anxious.
Chronic sweating, tense.
That was another thing I did back in the day there when I talked to people. So
it is really nice. She has a magic.
It's not something I ever thought I did before, but I'm like, hi, strangers on the street, hi.
It's so nice to see you.
Yeah. So I think it's one of the most important senses that we have, and yeah, so just touching, hugging, or like it's so necessary. Necessary
for our as parents to our kids. But also, like, in a relationship setting, I know a lot of situations for people where, like, their partners in them, they only get touched whenever they want to have sex, whenever they want to be intimate. And that's the only kind of physical connection that they have. Like, oh, you get a little massage and then automatically the partner's like, we're going to have sex now, right?
But no cuddling,
no
healthy
cuddling.
touch.
Yeah, none of this, like, other healthy touch. And it might be like, that's just what they know as like foreplay or whatever, but there's something between, like, there's a opportunity between not touching at all and touching with just the intent of being intimate. And I think that hand massage at least is a really great starting space to feel connected to your partner, to feel connected to anybody who you otherwise, either it's like nothing or it's too much. Maybe in another scenario, like maybe your kid's not a hugger. Maybe they don't like being overly, embraced, but you still want to have that connection. And just the hands alone, I feel like they would be a really great starting point. And not especially for moms, but for a lot of people, whenever they get a hand massage, when you're at the point when you're in a normal massage and they get to your hands, you don't realize how great it feels, and how tired your hands are from all the things that you do, which is why we're here. I went through a lot of different, like, anecdotal scenarios of why physical touch is important, but for a lot of us, it's I don't know, like you said, it's really important.
And to teach, I like where you were going with the teaching that touch isn't just sexual, right? It's just simply an extremely important part of our lives, and it doesn't usually end up with sex, right? I mean, I feel like it's a lower percentage of the times when we're touching each other.
Or just
shaking hands, hugging, really.
And shaking hands is a thing that we don't do that much anymore. Everything. So
yes, the word social distance for me was really hard to wrap my head around.
And it's still there. It's not over.
No,
but now we can at least be in the same room with other people that we don't live with. So shall we go into
let's do some hand massage. You put the setup perfect, huh? So I would say, if you're going to do hand, you can do this without lotion, without anything at all, depending on what you have at home. You might have essential oils that you want to use. You can use olive oil, avocado oil, whatever you have in your kitchen, or nothing at all. And I think one of the important things is to check in with your person. Make sure you tell me if it hurts, if you don't like it, right? So that's important, even if it's somebody that you live with and touch all the time. Also, make sure they're relaxing. You could probably see that happen. No, I could feel her elbow was stiff and her shoulder was stiff, and I could feel that all just in her hand.
And that's unconscious, right? It happens all the time in my yoga class.
You're still pulling some of that. I
say the word relax 1,000 times in in my yoga classes because it doesn't register with people until
You have most of the time we have no idea that we're holding ourselves. I mean, we all have holding patterns, whether you're relaxed or not. And see, even this now, just I mean, like just being able to do this, she's more relaxed than she was when I started.
So I'd say probably start somebody in a more comfortable seated position. Like then this is for the sake of the
Have them
demonstration.
get very comfortable. Exactly.
Very comfortable.
And
in the bathtub.
And whatever's comfortable for the person that you're working on. And then another thing that's important too is that you're comfortable, right? Because if I'm on my knees, or if I'm like, all tense, it's not going to help either. So if we're working on if you're doing a hand massage for a particular condition, if somebody has arthritis or carpal tunnel or something like that, one thing that's going to be helpful is to just flush them out. So you want to go towards the heart, right? So you can do your traditional massage, which we'll do, but you can also just push the fluids up towards the heart, because we have the lymph nodes in our armpits that are going to help drain any of the swelling from the arm. So if you're doing something for arthritis or carpal tunnel, any sort of injury, I mean, think about all the injuries we can have, trigger finger,
breastfeeding, from breastfeeding.
Oh, because you're holding your baby. Yeah. And that starts all up here. Yeah. So, and then otherwise you're just going to do what feels good for you and for the other person. I mean, I can get into the carpal tunnel goes all the way around. It's like a big thick band that holds all of our little tendons and our carpal bones in.
And she's literally just pushing her thumb in her hands.
And
away.
I can push as hard as she wants, or I can do it as light. We have some good in between your thumb and forefinger there. You've got some good trigger. Everybody's got a spot in there. Yeah,
definitely.
And
right.
Yeah, so the person I'm working on will be right there, right? That's a good one for headaches. And you can work as a team, right? She helped me find her spot because it's a little different on everybody. And that can just be held. Make sure everyone's breathing. And you can go back to it. And actually, sometimes if you have a headache, this spot, and if you do it on yourself, the headache will go away while you're squeezing the spot. It might come back when you let go, but that's actually, as far as acupressure goes, that's large intestine 4 is the great eliminator. One of the few acupressure points that I know.
That feels
Otherwise,
like
I'll send you to Devin here for acupuncture.
Oh, so you have acupuncture here too?
Yeah, functional health acupuncture. Devin, many of you know him in the moms group. He's amazing.
I feel like this would be a great opportunity to add whenever you're just like the kids went to bed and you're asking your partner how the day went.
To do this while you're talking to each other.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that'd be really nice.
That
instead of
nice.
Like looking at Netflix at what you're going to watch or washing the dishes or anything. Just like a nice little way to connect just for 5 minutes.
With your phones away.
Yeah. So what are you doing
today? So fingers, easiest to go out, and you have no idea how many little muscles, and I have a muscle chart here, but how many little muscles you have in your fingers. In between your fingers. And now I know I mentioned as far as inflammation goes, you want to go towards the heart, and you can tell I'm going out this way, but I would always end any sort of massage with flushing back up again. You can actually kind of see, I don't know if they can see that, the movement of you can see it a little bit, right? The movement. Yeah. We're sending all that carbon dioxide in the veins. You can see it's blue back to your heart. And she can relax again.
I'm holding some tension, apparently.
And people want to help too, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to help, but I can hold up your arm.
Have you done this with your children?
Yeah, my children are a little bit spoiled. They want table massage, and not only do they want table massage, they want table massage at home. They don't want to come to the office. Why can't we set the table up at home?
You're like, I don't want to work at home.
Yeah, they know. We were actually recently, we went for Thanksgiving, we went to my sister's in Nashville, and they have a trampoline. So my two children were jumping on the trampoline hours out of the day, which we don't usually do. So that meant they had sore muscles that they didn't have. And my mom kept joking because the children would come to me and be like, could you please massage my neck? Could you please massage my back hurts?
Mm-hmm.
My mom kept joking like, oh, you guys get to travel with your massage therapist. Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
Sometimes at home though, at the end of the day, they're like, can we have a massage? And I'm like,
$5.
yeah.
Wash the dishes.
Yeah. And I do cupping to my oldest daughter. That's her favorite thing. She prefers cupping right now.
I'm sure you saw were my cupping
Yes.
hickeys still there.
Yeah. And
So-
you had cupping massage too. So they didn't just leave the cup stagnant. They
Oh,
used,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
So
felt
it's-
it.
yeah. Yeah. And you could see her, the cupping bruises. They're not bruises. They're called petechia, but you can see if it's like a cup that's been left, or I could see hers. I think you guys probably saw the picture too.
Mhm.
You could see they'd been moving it back and forth.
It's a hickey, right? I mean,
The same,
suction,
it's the same. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Whereas hickeys don't hurt because it's that same kind of bruise.
right.
I guess.
Hopefully.
Recall.
Yeah, the cupping was really cool. It felt like, well, first of all, it felt like a giant fish was attached to my arm, to my shoulder, but I could also feel the suction lifting my muscle away from the muscles it was attached to, like the other muscles.
Separating the layers,
Yeah.
away from the fascia too. Yeah.
Definitely important that is done by a licensed professional, because anybody can buy a cupping set.
It's true.
And you can totally over suction and put it on not very helpful places.
Actually, many years ago, I left my daughter alone with the cups in the suction, and she put one over her mouth.
Oh no!
And she put here, and one on her forehead. And I came around the corner and said, "Oh no!" She said, "What?" And I said, "Oh dear, go look in the mirror."
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It was funny. It was cute. So
Yeah.
she had a purple circle here, and she had one on her forehead, and then she had like a Mickey Mouse smiley face here. And these ones got immediately like, sometimes they get dark. These ones were like black. I had to email school.
I was going to say, you
I
have to
did.
send a note to school.
I
like,
absolutely
promised.
did.
These are cups.
I promise. Yep. See how they're in the shape of a perfect circle.
Mhm. So I've seen,
Let's do your other hand to make you even.
yeah, well, I've seen, or I've had massage therapists like doing this part,
Mm-hmm.
kind of going like left
Mhm.
and right. Can you show
Yes.
our viewers? Anio asked if the cupping hurt during the process. Just slightly, but at that point, that's when I told the physical therapist, like that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
So let's see if we're gonna do, So you're just, really you can how you want to feel, right? So you wouldn't normally want to do it with her up in the air like that.
This is all.
But
demonstration.
just going along. Now you can go along the tendons that go over her fingers, the tendons that go between.
So it's really,
And you can do this way, pulling towards you.
yeah. Once you get to the hand, it's really just drawing towards you,
Mhm.
like you're scrolling with both hands.
Yeah.
And then to finish,
Yeah.
pushing all the.
And the same thing on this side, right? Like it feels good on our palms because we're constantly squeezing things, but you've got equal tendons and muscles up on the top side too. If you can see, I'm just pulling along. Lots of muscle tissue in between our fingers.
Also imagining like a glass of wine in the other hand
You
at the end of the day.
can do things like stretching. We can do wrist rolling.
Very flexible.
You are very flexible, aren't you?
10 years teaching yoga.
Ah.
I swear yoga made me taller. Once
So I tell people sometimes with like massage, if you're getting a Swedish massage along your spine, your back, if you drive, you'll notice you're actually taller after. Because it doesn't last.
No. Well, yeah, I was
the other side.
I was 5'8" since the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was in college, I decided to become a yoga instructor along with my other undergrad stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's intense.
That's more intense than the other side.
And now I'm 5'10", which was unnecessary because I feel like I was plenty tall enough, but here we are.
That's a lot taller too.
Yeah. It's really the posture. There's no magic.
It is posture. It's true though. Like you think about if you drive and your rear view mirror is. So when I worked at a place where most people would drive, I would always say, check your rear view mirror. Guarantee you're going to want to adjust it before you drive away because you're actually a little taller.
I love that.
Yeah, until we end up back at our computers like that.
Yeah, and then we shrink as people get older, and it's not, well, it's a little bit of losing bone density, but it's also posture.
And discs, right? Those get a little compressed over the years.
Oh yeah. My marshmallows are already starting to compress in my neck. So for the methodical viewer, how would you categorize this into like steps?
Okay. I'd say we started with flushing, right? Applying lotion. That's the best time to do that. If you're going to use lotion or oil, what you're going to do is just sort of push up, and you can do nice and light. Actually, our lymphatic system is right underneath the skin. So if you're going to do lymphatic drainage, which you can absolutely do on yourself, you're just going to push nice and light. The deeper you end up going, the more you're affecting the circulatory system.
Is that what brushing does too?
So like gua sha, or like dry brushing.
Yes,
dry brushing is lymphatic system. Yeah, because you're doing really light, right? Like, yeah, with it's like a kind of a loofah-ish.
Yeah, very
glove, right? Yeah. And then what I did was I sort of got into the wrist a little bit with my thumbs. This is when you can also like sort of turn over, get the anterior part of the carpal tunnel. So then we're going into sort of the affecting the muscles, the kneading and the kneading of the muscles. Yeah. So then we went in and got that trigger point there in between the thumb and the forefinger. And if you feel like you can't find it, ask the person that you're working on, like, how does that feel? Where's the most tender point? Yeah.
You could feel it. I bet you could feel it.
I can find it. Yeah. But I have a lot of practice.
Well, there's that, like, you almost like run over it like a wire.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Ow. In between the fingers. Then we did the same, right? We focused on the tendons. Like you think about each finger's got a group of tendons that are making it work.
Reminding them to relax 100 times.
Reminding them to relax their shoulders. Yep. Then we did sort of fingers, right? Like to do one finger at a time.
And she's really just like squishing my fingers.
Yeah.
From the base down to the tip.
And then I would end with a nice little flush through again. And communication with anything is key, right? Because someone you're working on might be like, you know what, my thumb is sore today, or my pinky, a lot of muscles over there too. My pinky is hurting, right? So communicate. Could you spend more time on my middle finger?
I've been using it too much.
But yeah, and then flush out. You can even go through someone's clothes, telling the fluids where to go. Yeah,
right into the armpit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there it is. I took off my rings and my watch for obvious reasons.
I had on a bracelet. I took it off too.
Yeah. And again, people with arthritis, this is really great for it. Again, we're not doctors. You're a massage therapist, but so you could probably
People
say.
who sit at their computers, people who use their phones. That's just about all people these days.
It's baking season, cookie season. It's dry skin season.
That is true also.
Probably encourage them to drink a glass of water afterwards.
Mhm.
We could always use more of that. But if any viewers have questions before we wrap up, feel free to post them in the comments. Melissa, I believe you had an offer that you wanted to give our viewers.
Yes, if you mention Strong as a Mother when you call or email, yep, $20 off of your next session with any of our therapists.
Yeah, and you have a team here.
I do.
She's growing. She survived and thrived during lockdown, and now she is expanding, looking for a bigger space as well.
Yeah, I am.
Congratulations.
So, well, thanks. It's been hard, but I'll find it, and it's going to be awesome. And there's 3 other massage therapists here with me as well.
And I'm sure you vet them and
Oh, I sure do. We're of course all licensed. They have to work on me a couple times. I work on them. I do a little bit of training actually, and I only hire people that I would pay to actually pay my massage therapist to work on me every week. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
I've always wanted to learn how to do this myself because it's one of my favorite things to get when I am getting massaged. I think it's a great way to explore the way physical touch can be incorporated into your relationships, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your husband, your wife, your partner, your kids. Anybody can benefit from physical touch. The last thing I'll mention is this also came about because when I was in India doing more yoga teacher training, I stumbled across the book, The Love Languages. This is a great resource for anybody who's in a relationship and feels like their partner just isn't getting it. Like for me, my love language is physical touch, but my husband wasn't a natural born masseuse. So that's why our date night worked out really great, because we learned how to incorporate physical touch in a way that helps strengthen our relationships. For him, it's acts of service. So whenever I would do household chores or offer to pick up my daughter or just, offer to be helpful, like that's how he feels loved. So however, it's a really short book. You could probably find the summary online. I highly recommend looking that up and let me know in the comments if you've read this book too, because it's a great resource.
Love languages, right?
The love languages. Yeah. It's like acts of service, gifts. I like presents too. Physical touch, quality time is a love language. That's 4 of them. I'm not sure if there's 4 or 5, I forget. But again, really short book. Lots of information online, and you can also utilize it with your kids too, to understand like how they can feel loved. That's all for today. I'm going to finish my coffee. Cheers. First time I'm cheering somebody in person.
Cheers.
Please, I'd love to keep the conversation going. Let us know your thoughts. If you try out the hand massage, please come support Melissa and her business so we can get her into an even bigger space and continue supporting not only local businesses, but moms who can do it all. That's what we are. We're just tired too.
Tell my teenage girl I'm doing it all.
She does. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Melissa,
Thank you for
your
having
time.
me. Thank you guys.
Being here. And until next time, stay strong, stay caffeinated or hydrated or both, and we'll see you in the group. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.